In the last episode, the logic of Gukhan's had changed to a dragon, seeing which Gukhan's was also surprised by this. Then in the next scene, we see that Gukhan's is also afraid of it, and that's why he got stuck between these two. But then, we see that the dragon uses its power to attack the evil creature, seeing which Gukhan's also understood that this dragon is saving him. That's why we see that he was very happy with this. And then he says that you eat all these creatures. Then we see that the dragon also gets ready to listen to him, and he immediately went to attack the evil creature. Then seeing this, Gukhan's becomes very happy with this, and says that you wanted to bully my mother and Chen Ping'an, but now you are ready to face it. Then we see that the dragon starts using its power. That's why the evil creature can't do anything in front of it, and we see that it was stuck in its power, after which we see that the dragon ate the monster, and that's why the evil creature can't do anything to the dragon. But now we see that Gukhan's was very happy with this. And then he comes in front of it and says that I was thinking of you as a little dish, but you are actually a dragon. Then we see that the dragon starts roaming around it. That's why a power was created around it, after which Gukhan's came out of it. Then we see that Gukhan's mother is also very happy with this, and she immediately comes and hugs him. Then Jimao also says that this trip was very good for me, and finally I got a good apprentice. Then we see that Gukhan's mother was also very happy with this. And then she remembers her father and says that, have you heard about it? Because now the future of our Gukhan's will be very bright. Then Jimao says, that is there any other old item in your house? Because when we are going to start our journey. Then we see that Gukhan starts looking towards the bag with the money, and then he tells his mother that dad had left the Duobao pavilion, which is still lying in the cabinet. Then after hearing about it, Gukhan's mother goes to find it. And now we see that Gukhan's had got a chance to go from here, while in the next scene, we see that Song Jiksen who had defeated by Gao Zhen in the game. Now we see that he is going to go from here, and Mr. Chi also gives him permission for this. But Mr. Chi knew that Gukhan's was deliberately losing in this, and so he asks Song Jiksen that why did you do this? Then Song Jiksen says that I did not want to let him go from here in regret. And then he says to Mr. Chi that I heard that you were also going from here. Then Mr. Chi says that yes, I am also going from here in 10 days. After which Song Jiksen says that I will also come to say goodbye to you, but Mr. Chi says that there is no need for this. And then he says to Song Jiksen that you are out of town at this time, and that's why you don't have to be too aggressive. Then we see that he gives some books to Song Jiksen and says that you cultivate your character. Then Song Jiksen says that it seems that he is going to give his orphanage to someone else, on which Mr. Chi says that you don't have to worry about it, and now that's why you can go from here. Then we see that Song Jiksen also started going from here. While there, Jigui greets Mr. Chi before leaving from here, and we see that there is a change in his eyes again, while we see that Chen Ping'an was burning his house again, where Ning comes and says that your work is over. Then we see that Chen Ping'an talks about Mr. Chi. Then Ning says that if Mr. Chi would not have come to help you, then no matter how much you try there, but still you could not escape from Sujian Lake. Then he says that you do not say that there was a limit to Jimao in it, because if Nanua also used only his finger, then he will crush you very easily. Then Chen Ping'an says that I know, but Ning is also angry, and says that what do you know? Then he says that if you do not have the strength, then whether you are right or wrong, no one will care about it. Then Chen Ping'an also says that even I do not care about it, because it is true. Then we see that Ning gets angry for such a thing, on which Chen Ping'an says that this hairpin has been given to me by Mr. Chi, and that's why I want you to be careful about it. But we see that Ning does not care much about it, so she returns the hairpin to him, and then Chen Ping'an also keeps it with him. Then we see that Gukhan came to meet Chen Ping'an, and says that you come out quickly, otherwise I will never meet you again. Then we see that he goes to kick the door in anger, but at that time, Chen Ping'an also opens the door, but still, we see that Gukhan does not say anything about it, and then he asks that do you remember the fish that you gave me? Then Chen Ping'an says that first of all you come inside, but then, we see that he takes him in his arms, and then he says to Chen Ping'an that I wanted to return that fish to you, but actually, my mother refused to return it to you. And then he starts crying, and says that that old man had imprisoned me in his white ball, and now we see that he is going to tell him about the dragon thing, but then, we see that Chen Ping'an refuses to talk about it. And then he says that I gave you that fish, and that's why it's only yours now. Then he says that, do you want to give a good life to your mother? Then Gukhan also says that yes. Then Chen Ping'an says that you keep that fish with you. But then, we see that Gukhan starts giving him a money bag, on which Chen Ping'an says that where did you get it from, and did you steal it from anyone? Then we see that Gukhan tries to throw it here and run, but then, we see that Chen Ping'an had also caught it, while Ning had also come here. And while picking up that money bag, she says that my mother said that everyone has their destiny. But then, we see that Chen Ping'an starts enjoying Chen Ping'an, and says that you have also succeeded in kidnapping a girl. Then Chen Ping'an says to Ning that this is the same, and that's why you don't get angry at him. Then Ning says to Chen Ping'an that you take these things and leave from here. Otherwise I want to tell you that my mood is not good today, and that's why I can do anything with you. But still, we see that Gukhan does not come out of his action, and says that he is more reliable than Ji Kui. Then we see that Ning also starts smiling after hearing this. But right there his mother also started calling him. That's why Chen Ping'an tells Gukhan to be careful with his master, on which Gukhan says that you don't worry about it, because that little fish is with me, and that's why that old man can't do anything to me. But now, we see that Gukhan's mother was constantly calling him. That's why Chen Ping'an asks him that did you get the locust leaf? Then we see that Gukhan takes out a lot of locust leaves from his bag and says that I don't know how it is. Then Chen Ping'an tells him to take good care of it, and it would be best if your mother does not know about it. Then we see that Gukhan was also ready to listen to it, and then he says goodbye to it and starts running away from here. But we see that Chen Ping'an himself was also very sad about this. While there, Gukhan can't control his emotions, and that's why he comes back and takes him in his arms again and says that the fish is actually yours, and for this you forgive me. But we see that Chen Ping'an is still not worried about the fish. While there, Gukhan encourages him not to miss me too much. And anyway, we are going to a place called Sujian Lake, and if you want you can come there to meet us. But we see that Chen Ping'an was also sad about this, and that's why he doesn't say much about it. While in the next scene we see two immortals, where one man says that now I want to go down from here. Then the lady tells her companion that magic is forbidden here. That's why I think we have to gamble to decide about it, so that we can decide who will get these two opportunities. Then the man says that you are very calculative, but still you should be careful about it, and that's why it doesn't seem that he wants to suppress two realms in one world. Then she says to him that, what do you mean? Then we see that he was also ready to challenge him, and that's why they both came to one place. Then we see that she immediately starts using her martial arts, and in this way she was ready to attack him, but we see that he is also no less than her. That's why he also saves himself from every attack of her, and that's why she can't do anything about it. Then we see that he also tries to attack her, but still she stopped his attack, and that's why he can't do anything about it. There, we see that she was ready to fight with him again. That's why that man also gets ready to use more of his strength, and we see that he again went to attack her. Then we see that she was also ready to save herself, but still she can't do anything in front of him for a long time, and that man had made a very powerful attack on her, but still, we see that she's not so easy to kill. That's why she gets ready to fight with him again, and we see that there was a very intense fight between them. Then we see that she also starts using her martial arts very intensely. That's why that man was also not able to do anything in front of her, and that's why she starts getting heavy on him in the beginning. But still, we see that that man is not so easy to defeat. That's why he was ready to attack her again, and we see that there is a very intense fight between them again. Then we see that that man tries to attack her, but she stops his attack very easily, and then she immediately attacks him and it starts getting heavy on him. But then we see that that man also stops her attack this time, and then he attacks her by using a lot of his strength, where we see that she had saved herself. But now we see that that man starts getting heavy on her, where we find out that she is actually trying to save the fan next to her, because if that man achieves it, then she will lose in this challenge. But still, we see that the man had attacked her very intensely, so that she could not do anything to stop her, and that's why the man took her fan and defeated her. After which we see that she's ready to give up in front of him, and that's why he came back to the normal world. Then a man named Tian tells her that Zhanyang Ontadine does not want to be involved, but still we have to win this sword in some way. Then we see that some boys had come here, and then she asks them that do you know a boy named Zhan Yang, but we see that they start smiling after hearing this, on which she says that I want to buy him an armor set. Then a boy talks big on it and says that you do not know about it, but when he sees Zhan Yang, then he greets us. But then Zhan Yang realized that she was getting angry at him, and that's why he stops his companion. Then she says that I want to give you a chance for this, and that's why I want you to do this. Then he says that the boy does not know the secret of the armor, and that's why if we go in front of him, he will doubt us. That's why she says that if you bring the armor to us, then we will give you a big reward for it. But then, we see that the boy was looking at it with the wrong eye, and that's why she gets angry at him. Then Ning says that to Chen Ping'an, I want to help you, but still, I can't do much about it. And then Ning says that if you look at me too much, then I will report about it. But then, she says that you do not worry much about it, and I promise that I will definitely do something for you. But then she says that we do not have such a deep relationship, and that's why if you want to get something done from me, then you will have to give me a bag of money for it. Then he says that you started talking like this, because I agree that Master Lu saved you, but still, if I had not helped you, then you would have been killed here. But still we see that Ning starts talking about it in many ways, but still we see that she was ready to help him in this way, and she says that you forget that I said anything to you, because you have saved my life, and that's why I will definitely do something for you in return. But then she gets a little serious, and says that you should also think about it, because I don't want you to die somewhere suddenly. Then she says that you don't worry much about it, because I will definitely do something to help you. But then we see that Chen Ping'an keeps some coins with him, and then he says that the rest are yours. Then Ning suddenly asks him that do you like me, but we see that Chen Ping'an can't say anything about it. Then Ning tells him that I don't care about it, because I will only like the man who is the most powerful swordsman in the world. But there we see that Chen Ping'an keeps listening to such things, and he can't say anything about it. But then he says to Ning that maybe you misunderstood about it, because I don't like you at all. Then we see that Ning also gets a little upset by listening to such things, and then she says to Chen Ping'an that not so much. But then we see that Chen Ping'an was very confused by this, and that's why he immediately runs away from here. After which Ning says that if Chen Pingan marries anyone in the future, then I think he will be a heartless person. Then we see that she was beating that boy a lot. That's why Jung Jun starts requesting her in front of her and says that please forgive her for this. Then we see that the girl with her starts betting with the boy with her and says that if you tell me how many fishes are in this pond, then I will make her leave her life. Then we see that the girl also agreed for this. But we see that it is not so easy for her to count the fish, and that's why she asks her grandpa Chen, what should I do for this? Then Chen says that you don't worry about it. And then we see that he took all the fish out of his kick, after which the girl says to the boy that there is no fish in the pond, after which we see that the girl also starts laughing. But still, she's not going to leave this boy so easily, and says that you keep beating him. Then she asks Jung Jun that can you buy this boy's armor for us? Then we see that Jung Jun also agreed for it immediately, because he does not have any other option. Then we see that the boy was sitting at the entrance of the town, where now we see that someone was going to leave from here, and then we find out that there is no one else but Gukan and his mother. But there we see that Ning was busy practicing her cultivation, while there Chen Pingan was in front of a statue. And then he says that you can tell me how good I am doing, while there we see that Gukan was going with his mother with a boy, where we see that someone was keeping an eye on him. But then we see that the boy's shield starts generating power, which goes straight into the statue of the dragon next to him. So if you like the explanation, then like this video, and definitely comment on it. And if you are excited for its next episode, then also tell us about it.